You got to go back a long ways for that. Well, it was a kid's show, and he had a little character on there called Mr. Peabody, and he was the scientist type. And he had a Wayback Machine. Now, I'm going to pull out my own Wayback Machine this morning and take you way back about 80 years to when I was about 9 or 10 years old. And it was during the Depression, and I'm going to show you a breakfast food that they had then that I hated it, but it was all there was to eat, so it was a lot better than nothing. Well, all I'm going to make is one serving of this breakfast food that has the very unattractive name of mush. It even sounds bad. I've got a half cup of ground corn meal, corn flour. So you need twice as much water as you have cornmeal, and that's coming up to a boil. And this stuff, you know, you cannot eat mature corn. It just can't be done. The only way that you can eat mature corn is for it to be ground and grind the hulls up, because I guess a pig is about the only thing that can actually digest the hulls of corn. And it's like when you eat popcorn, and if you happen to look closely enough, the hulls are coming on through undigested. And half the appendicitis operations are caused by husk from popcorn. So you know the problem with eating this stuff. The only way it can be eaten is by grinding it, and it's been around for thousands of years. And here's a picture of a Navajo woman from probably 500 years ago grinding it, and they grind it exactly the same way today. Well, it's boiling now. But you don't want to dump in this cornmeal all at once. If you do, it turns in one huge lump that nobody can eat. And you put it in just a little at a time with a lot of stirring. You see those lumps forming there? Well, I poured it in too much at once, so I'm going to put in just a little bit at a time and stir it vigorously. Get a whisk here, that's about the only thing that you can stir it successfully with. The only other way to make this edible, mature corn is hominy. which is boil the whole kernels until it swells up, and then they treat it with live water. Turn this fire down a little bit. That's the other thing, you want to be careful not scorch it. I don't think it'd be as bad as mush is to start with. I don't think it'd be possible to ruin it anyway, but we're talking about making hominy, and then it has to be rinsed all these times to get rid of the lye taste out of it, and then it's kind of a bland, tasteless food, but it's popular in Mexico in a lot of dishes. Okay, there it is. That's mush. Now I'm going to take it to the table, and I'm going to actually eat some of it. Oh yeah, add some butter to it. You know this stuff, have you ever eaten cream of wheat? Cream of wheat's about the same thing, and then some sugar on it. By the way, this sugar dispenser comes from about that period of time. Still have it around. Have the matching salt and pepper shaker. They used to sit on tables at restaurants, and they were a very popular way to serve sugar. Add some milk to the mush here. I think you'll see the reason it's so thick and gooey and gummy. And now if I'd added a little bit more hot water to it, it probably wouldn't be quite as thick as this, but you'll get the idea. The reason that this was popular then is the price. Cornmeal was about a half-cent a pound to buy it. You could buy a 5-pound sack for 3 or 4 cents. On the market, wheat was a penny a pound from the fields, but there was such a surplus of corn that they couldn't even sell it. It wasn't worth shipping to market. Okay, here goes. Just like I remembered. The only thing it needs a little salt. Maybe that a little bit. No, it didn't. But when you're making YouTube cooking, or cooking YouTubes, sometimes you have to take one for the team. And that's the case now. I've taken one for the team here to just show you what breakfast food was like 80 years ago, back in the 1930s. And by the way, I have another 1930s video. It's about school lunch menus, or school lunches. I'll put the link to it in the description of this, so you can, after you watch this, you can go watch that if you can stand to it at that point. At least the school lunches were much better than this. By the way, the only time I ever heard my dad make my mother cry, one morning he sat down to the breakfast table and said, "Mush, mush, mush." She started crying and she says, "It's all I had to fix."